Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to the segment of Khoj Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. Our recitation for the day is Gaudi Gwareri Mahalla Panjwa. Sun Har Katha Utari Mail, Mahapuneet Bhaye Sukh Sail, Vade Bhag Paya Sad Sang, Par Brahm Syon Lago Rang. हर हर नाम जपत जन तारयो अगन सागर गुर पार उतारयो रहाओ कर कीर्तन मन शीतल भये जन्म जन्म के किल विख गए सर्व निधान पेखे मन माहे अब ढूंढन काहे कौन जाहे प्रभ अपने जब भये दयाल पूर्ण होई सेवक काल बंधन काट किए अपने दास सिमर 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 गुणतास एको मन एको सब ठाए पूरन पूर रहयो सब जाए गुरपूरै सब भरम चुकाया हर सिमरत नानक सुख पाया. I was fortunate, the fifth Nanak says, to find the tutelage of the accomplished one, Sad Sang. Vade Bhag Paya Sad Sang. A-sad comes from Siddh and implies one who is accomplished. And so the question is, accomplished in what? Within the context of Gurmat, the accomplishment is of purging the ego, one who has mastered the ego. So the Guru is saying, I found company of the Sad Sang. And what did the Sad do? The Sad removed my mail. Sun Har Katha Utari mail. Because it was the discourse of the Sad that I heard. Sun, of course, implies physical hearing as well as hearing with the mind as well. Sun Har Katha Utari mail. Utari mail literally means removing dirt or impurity. So the question is, what is this dirt? So mail and the word maleen or melagar, which are also used in Gurbani, literally mean a weakened state. So in Gurmat, a weakened state is to be living in ego consciousness, in haume. And why is this a weakened state? It is because the ego is under the hold of the senses, and the senses dissipate the mind. And that causes it to lose its pristine and primordial consciousness or awareness, which is Parabrahm. So what we are reading in this verse is that the process is being reversed. Parabrahm syon laga rang. That is reversing where we are currently in our current state. So, Sun Har Katha Utari Mail, Mahapuneet Bhaye Sukh Sail. Puneet, the reverse of mail. Here it means without impurities. So when the sadhu or the sad gave me the discourse or the narrative of the Har Self, my ego consciousness was dissolved. The impurity of my ego was rendered pure. This is another way of saying expansion of one's constricted ego conditioning and a different, broader level of consciousness and awareness that sets in. And in the Rahau, the explanation is furthered. Guru Arjan says, Har Har Naam Japat Jan Taryo, Agin Sagar Gure Par Utaryo. Har Har Naam Japat. Japat is in the past. So the process is being explained here. As a result of reciting, uttering, and absorbing the knowledge of the Har Har Naam Japat, and we've taken care to use a broader, inclusive meaning of the word Japat, because Japat is in the past. I have actually done Japana, and as a result of that Japana, so the question is, what is Japana? Japana is insight, understanding, reflection. It's a very broad term that we are using here. At least we are using it in that sense, not in its narrow, constricted sense of uttering or reciting. It is more than that, but it includes recitation. Let that be very clear. So as a result of reciting, uttering, absorbing the knowledge of the Har, the devotee is successfully ferried across. Jannataryo. Jan is a seeker, a divine lover. And so the Guru is here speaking from that perspective and says, when I heard the discourse from the Sadh, the Guru, then as a result of this practice, I was ferried across. Agin Sagar. Here existence has been referred to fire. The fire of Hauman. Agana Sagar, Gur Par Utaryo. The Gur, the enlightener, actually carried me across. And Naam, Japat, Naam, very broad topic, but literally, if you look at it, it means name. And so there is a connotation here that is that it refers primarily to mental phenomena that is tied to reality at many levels, including feeling, perceptions, and consciousness. And it is used in many connotations in Gurbani, but essentially when we encounter this word, we look at it in order to make sense as verbal representation, vachak of reality. So Gurbani is the vachak of Har, and therefore equates to knowledge of the Har self. Kar kirtan man sital bhai, janam janam ke kil vikh gaye, sarab nidhan pekhe man mahe, ab ढूंढन काहे को जाए. So this process is what the Guru is referring to as kirtan. Kirtan means to offer praise, to eulogize, literally. And in Sikhi, when we say kirtan, we refer to the congregational expression and articulation of Gurbani through singing. And what Gurbani is saying is that kirtan is the supreme act and method for bhakti. Kal Yug mein kirtan pardana, gurmukh japiye laye dhyana. But it goes beyond that too. It's not simply the physical act of singing together. In terms of action, it has a deeper implication, and that is offering up the fruits of one's actions to the Creator. That is, in the true sense, kirtan. Everything that is being done as an offering to the Creator. Kirtan. And then, of course, there is the physical kirtan that we do as a congregation, because it induces that kind of spirit. Prabh apne jab bhay dayal puran hoi sevak kaal, bandan kaat kiye apne das, simar 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 guntas. So here there is the sense of the process being complete. The Guru here is explaining to us how this process works. If you're fortunate to find a sadh, then pay attention to the sadh, because the sadh will narrate to you the discourse of the enlightener, the Gur Sabad. And with that, your consciousness will expand, your ego and its impurities will be dissolved, and you will then truly engage in kirtan. And when you do that, Prab apne sab bhay dayal puran hoy sevak ki kaal. The toil and exertions of the servant are met with success. Puran hoy sevak kaal, when the Har Self in its compassion bestows its wisdom. Prab apne jab bhay dayal. So that is what happens eventually, that you make yourself receptive for compassion. You have to dissolve the ego in order for Nam to come and reside within that knowledge. So it is that process that we are talking about. Bandhan kaat kiye apne das, simar 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 guntas. So then, when that happens, all bondage of the haume is rent asunder. What it means is that we are then guided by this wisdom, prab, in thought, word, and action. Simar, simar, simar guntas. There is this emphasis 3 times for simar, which is remembering. And we translate it, or at least understand it, to mean thought, word, deed should be guided by the wisdom of the self, Gurmat. Eko mane eko sab thaye, puran pur reho sab jaye. Eko mane eko sab thaye. The one, Akal Purakh, persists everywhere, in the mind as well as in all places. Eko man eko sab thaye. Puran pur reho sab jaye. Its perfection is all pervasive. It permeates everything. Gur pure sab param chukaya, har simrat nanak sukh paya. So the perfect Gur enlightener, the Sadh, through its narrative, what Guru Nanak is saying is, my wandering came to an end, and I found to the Sadh. On that note, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.